Thank you so much, Lynn. So I'm actually now going to be a presenter as well. So I have a dual role. And I'm going to present and try to share with you an independent view. So from DNV's side. Uh, so decarbonization in shipping is happening. That I think there's a consensus in the industry. I guess what's the question is what's the pace, right? And what are the solutions that the industry will adopt? Now, I want to share with you today, these are two snapshots of our maritime forecast. And basically, they represent the two possible scenarios of CO2 emissions. The first one here would be if we were to comply with the current IMO goals. And the one on the right is if we were to decarbonize fully shipping by 2050. What's the whole point of this slide? Basically, to show everyone that to decarbonize shipping, we need a mix of solutions. We need to optimize the supply chain. We need to certainly work on energy efficiencies, and there has been many good examples mentioned earlier today. And also, we need to focus on the fuels. As you can see, that's the green part. And obviously, those needs to be green fuels. And just to remind ourselves that there are actually three ways to obtain green fuels. It's through electricity and through renewables. It's also through biomass and also through carbon capture and storage. And currently, the industry is looking at all of them. But obviously, to achieve this, we cannot work alone as an industry. We need to have a smart choice. So that's why governments and the role of governments will be key going forward. Before moving on, I would also like to re-emphasize the word digitalization that has been mentioned earlier today, because the power of data will really be key to really understand where we stand, actually, so that we can set the targets and understand how are we progressing towards the future goals. So, as I said before, I mean, shipping is going to decarbonize, and actually the decarbonization has already started and is accelerating. If we look at the new building order book currently, it has actually the number of new vessels and new contracts that have been contracted with alternative fuels have tripled from 2019 to 2022. So owners are really taking, risky and bold decisions. So that's really good. Currently, the alternative fuel that is mostly chosen is fossil LNG, and that's basically for larger ships. I would like to also, I'm not going to go into detail, but as you can see, there are different alternative fuels being adopted, and obviously it is really important to have in mind and differentiate between short sea shipping and deep sea shipping. The solutions are totally different. Having said that, short sea shipping is really a good test bed for solutions for deep sea shipping in the future. Now let's go a little bit into the examples, because as I said before, things are happening, and Lynn has been covering some of the pilots. The GCMD is going on, and we also as DNV are involved in several pilots. Sorry, before that. A little bit about the technologies, right? Because technology obviously is going to be the key enabler. They are going to be ready, actually. And we think that is going to be in 3 to 8 years, more or less. As you can see, methanol is the first one. There we go to ammonia, hydrogen, and CCS. We are talking a lot about technology, and that's great. But I would really also like us to remind ourselves the importance of the regulatory readiness for each of these technologies, because safety is paramount. Should an accident happen right now on LNG or with energy efficiency solutions or anything, it will actually backfire the whole decarbonization journey. So in all these talks that we are having, safety needs to be the foundation of all of it. But again, As you can see in my chart behind me, this is going to be ready in the next 3 to 8 years. And now we can go to the examples. So we have, for example, the first one, which is an owner in this region, Express Feeders, who have ordered 8 11,170 TEU container vessels, which is going to be driven by green methanol. So, well, the first 2 are only going to be methanol ready because of the tight timeline, but the other 6, they will be driven by methanol and hopefully green methanol one day. So with these new fuels being chosen, they will basically save around 30 to 40% of CO2 emissions. To mention another one regarding fuel cells, we have signed a collaboration agreement, and we are working with Shell, Doosan, Axiom to work on hydrogen fuel cells for a gas carrier. This is a vessel already in operation. This is extremely efficient. So it's really a technology to look into. And there's another example with this technology. Obviously, this is for source shipping. This was announced a few weeks ago in Norway, the Northern Explorer, which is going to be a zero emissions vessel. Again, this is just a ferry, but we think it's going to be delivered, or we plan to be for it to be delivered actually in 2025, 2026. So it's actually quite just around the corner, so to say. So these were touching upon new fuels, but also we have, for example, looking into floating production units, and we are involved as well in this conversion from a large gas carrier into an FPSO, which will create large industrial scales of green ammonia, also in Norway. And then last but not least, I think many owners in the industry are actually adopting wind-assisted propulsion systems, and it has been proven to provide quite a lot of efficiency, and these have already been installed certainly in one vessel, MC Shipping, and the results are being quite good so far. So those is all in the pipeline, and in the next couple of years, all these will be delivered. So it's really interesting to see how the industry is moving at the same direction. But there is a but. There are a couple of things that we need to be very conscious about. With new fuels, with these new technologies comes new risks, right? And again, I mentioned before about the safety aspect, which is extremely important that we focus on. And then one that we haven't been talking about it too much so far today, which is the human factor. We need to make sure that all the crew and everyone in the shipping companies understand what is happening. So we as DNV are also trying to put some emphasis on that, and we are actually collaborating with key institutions here in Singapore, some of them present here, like for example SIT, to really make sure that we adapt the programs and that also that we create relevant content for the crew and all the colleagues working in the shipping companies, to make sure that whatever new fuel or new technology is implemented, we do it in a safe way, and we create a safe workplace and industry for all of us. Thank you very much.